It was reported that Sung Jin-Woo began as the weakest E-rank hunter, commonly referred to as the weakest of the weak. He was said to be barely stronger than a regular human, with poor stamina and slow healing. He frequently returned from raids bloodied and unconscious, sometimes needing rescue by other hunters. Despite this, he continued showing up to every raid he could, simply to afford his mother's hospital bills and support his younger sister. His struggle was not just physical, it was financial, emotional, and deeply personal. During a particularly dangerous raid, Jin-Woo's party discovered a hidden double dungeon that turned deadly. Ancient stone statues slaughtered the hunters who broke the rules carved into the temple's walls. Jin-Woo, despite his weakness, tried to protect others and was severely injured. It was explained that this moment of sacrifice triggered something extraordinary. After regaining consciousness in the hospital, Jin-Woo saw a floating system interface, a game-like overlay no one else could see. He had become a player, chosen by a mysterious force, and was now capable of growing stronger through quests and leveling up. For the first time, he had a path forward, but he would have to take every step alone.
Awakening and early growth. It was reported that Jin-Woo slowly climbed the ranks by entering low-level dungeons solo, pushing his body to its limits. Every kill earned him experience, and every mission completed brought stat upgrades. Readers describe this arc as a pure power fantasy done right, steady, rewarding, and filled with satisfying moments of growth. Unlike most hunters, who were locked into their abilities from the start, Jin-Woo could actually improve. He was learning, evolving, and building an army of shadow soldiers from the corpses of fallen enemies. As Jin-Woo's power increased, his mindset began to shift too. He became more calculating, more confident, and at times intimidating. Yet he never lost sight of his original goal, to protect his loved ones. Every chapter reportedly ended with a twist or cliffhanger, making the story difficult to stop reading. Fans appreciated how the pacing balanced training sequences with high-stakes battles. By chapter 50, Jin-Woo was no longer an E-rank hunter. He had become something entirely new, and the world was starting to notice.
Jeju Island Raid and Monarch Emergence. During the Jeju Island Raid, one of Korea's most dangerous S-rank missions, Jin-Woo was called upon to assist when the country's top guilds struggled against an army of mutated ants. It was reported that Jin-Woo single-handedly turned the tide of the battle, defeating the Ant King in a brutal one-on-one fight and shocking both allies and rivals with his strength. This was the arc that firmly established him as a national-level hunter. However, this victory drew attention from forces beyond the human world. It was explained that ancient beings known as monarchs and rulers had been watching, and Jin-Woo's rise disrupted their plans. These entities were locked in a hidden war, using Earth as a battlefield. While Jin-Woo gained power, he also gained enemies from beyond. Readers noted that side characters began to fade into the background at this point, as Jin-Woo's power eclipsed nearly everyone around him. Still, the stakes had never been higher, and fans were hooked. International conference and ruler vessels. It was described that Jin-Woo traveled to the United States for an international conference of the world's strongest hunters. There, he met national-level hunters, humans chosen to wield the power of the rulers. While most attendees were wary of Jin-Woo's growing influence, a few saw him as an equal. The monarchs, however, did not wait. They began launching coordinated strikes across the world, killing ruler vessels and destabilizing alliances. Jin-Woo's role shifted from a national hero to a global force. He found himself targeted, watched, and hunted. As the war between monarchs and rulers escalated, it was explained that Jin-Woo walked a lonely road. No one truly understood the burden he carried, yet he continued to fight, aware that Earth was becoming the final battleground for a war waged by gods. This arc deepened the lore, introduced new characters, and made it clear. Jin-Woo was not just fighting for survival, he was fighting for humanity itself.
It was explained that the monarchs launched a full-scale assault on Earth, seeking to eliminate the remaining rulers' vessels and destroy Jin-Woo before he could become a threat. Despite overwhelming odds, Jin-Woo survived a near-death experience by resurrecting through the system. This was the moment he inherited the full power of Ashborn, the true Shadow Monarch, and assumed his place as the greatest hunter on Earth. Fans reported that the emotional tension in this arc peaked. Old allies died, cities were devastated, and the line between human and god blurred. Yet, some readers felt the story had become too focused on spectacle. Jin-Woo's strength now seemed limitless, and that made it harder to feel real tension.
Nevertheless, this section pushed the story into its final apocalyptic phase. The man who once struggled to defeat a goblin was now challenging beings that had ruled for millennia. It was said that everything was leading to one final confrontation.
It was reported that Jin-Woo faced Antares, the monarch of destruction and the most powerful of them all. This wasn't just a boss fight. It was the culmination of everything built over 150 chapters. Jin-Woo fought armies, coordinated shadow tactics, and even created time-space illusions to gain the upper hand. The battle was described as cinematic, devastating, and relentless. Antares pushed Jin-Woo harder than anyone ever had, and the consequences of failure were global extinction. In the end, Jin-Woo emerged victorious, but not unscathed. The cost of protecting humanity was enormous. This arc offered closure to the long-standing conflict between monarchs and rulers, and finally gave readers a glimpse of what peace could look like, if Jin-Woo was willing to sacrifice everything to make it happen. For many fans, this was the emotional and visual high point of the entire manhwa. It was reported that Solo Leveling became one of the most widely read and influential manhwa in modern webtoon history. It was praised for its sleek art, consistent action, and highly satisfying power progression. The central theme revolved around solitary growth, becoming powerful in isolation, driven by responsibility, pain, and duty. Jin-Woo's story was not just about becoming strong. It was about carrying the weight of others and making impossible choices. Critics acknowledged that while the series was light on moral complexity, it delivered exactly what it set out to do: pure, polished fantasy storytelling with near-perfect pacing. It was particularly successful with readers who wanted clean action, dramatic visuals, and a hero who didn't rely on anyone else. Though it didn't explore deep philosophical questions, it resonated emotionally through its pacing, tone, and execution. In conclusion, it was reported that Solo Leveling stood as a defining entry in digital comics. It combined stunning artwork, addictive pacing, and a protagonist with unstoppable drive. Though it didn't aim for thematic depth, it didn't have to. It perfected the art of being thrilling. Jin-Woo's journey from nobody to legend became a global phenomenon because it was clear, focused, and emotionally charged. Whether readers loved the ending or not, few could deny the impact this series had on modern manhwa. It opened doors, introduced new readers to Korean webtoons, and raised the bar for what power fantasy could look like in a visual format. As a complete experience, Solo Leveling left a lasting shadow, one that won't disappear anytime soon. And hey, if you've made it this far into the video, first of all, congratulations. You now know more about Solo Leveling than most people who pretend they've read it. That's an achievement in itself. Now, I'm not going to beg you to like the video. That would be awkward. But the like button is just sitting there, cold, unloved, wondering if anyone will ever tap it again. It takes half a second, and I've heard rumors that it feeds the algorithm, which in turn feeds me, emotionally, not financially, unfortunately. And if by some miracle you actually enjoyed this video, or at least didn't hate it, go ahead and hit subscribe. It's free, it doesn't bite, and it's probably the only commitment in your life that doesn't come with ads or monthly charges. But hey, no pressure. Jin-Woo soloed the entire end of the world. You can probably solo that button just fine.